Hi, this is my 7th attempt at this video making. I'm not very good at this whatsoever. Anyhow, we're here to talk today about my best friend, some friends of mine, and acquaintances. I'm going to start out with my best friend. Her name is Ellie. She is from Germany, and I've known her since we were teenagers in high school. She was my neighbor, and she didn't know a lot of English back then. And having her nationality in our small town probably was not, they were not being overwhelmed by friends, by outsiders. So anyhow, we became friends, even shared a boyfriend. After we shared the boyfriend, then that pretty well opened the door for us to share almost anything. She graduated from high school, she got married, she had kids, and we kept in touch. I graduated from high school, went in the military, got out of school and had kids too, so we sort of raised our kids together, and we kept in contact with each other sporadically. She was very busy with her 3 kids. I was very busy with my 7 kids. And living a couple hours apart, we didn't really have a lot of time to socialize. And back then there weren't such things as Skype and computers and all that, so if we had any contact with each other, it was either by the post office or way of telephone. And of course back then things were expensive and raising a lot of kids, so you didn't always have money to make a long distance telephone call. But we did try and keep in touch as much as we could. As our kids got older and they got married and our time became freer, we were able to get together more, and now we could talk about our grandkids. So between our friends and our grandkids and our families, through the years and being the same age group, we were able to pretty well share everything from the ups and downs and joys of being parents and grandparents to ups and downs of our aches and pains, medical scares, her losing her husband through cancer, and we got quite close to that when I had my cancer scare. We remained close, and to this day we're probably closer now than we were back when we were in high school. Certainly not fighting over boyfriends anymore. So I just know if I need someone to talk to that is not going to judge me or my actions, I can count on her. And I think since we are still a distance apart, that also helps, that we're not that close, that we are day after day after day on each other's, what would you say, complaining to each other about day-to-day things, you know. So anyhow, she's a very good friend. I appreciate her greatly, and I'm glad she's in my life. And I hope both of us are in for the long term. Now, as far as friends go, there are so many qualities that make up a friend. I have lots of friends. Most of my friends are men. And the reason they're men is because I've worked in non-traditional female roles, from whether it was in the military or working in the state penal system as a correctional officer, working in security, working in law enforcement of some type. It was a more dominant male setting, and so most of my friends are men. And with that, these guys have been involved with my family, with my kids. They've watched my kids grow up through the years, went to many of my kids' high school musicals, and offered me their shoulder if I needed it. Tried to cheer me up if I was down. We were able to share laughter. If I needed to borrow one of the guys' trucks, I knew I could. If I needed someone to maybe fix a repair in my house that I couldn't, I knew I could count on them. If I needed someone to take me out to lunch, I could count on them. So over the years, the strength of my male friendships is very strong. Each male friend plays a certain role in my life, and all my male friends know each other. We all get along. I mean, there's no, what would you say, animosity towards any of them. You know, there's no jealousy, no what have you. We're just all just good friends. As far as acquaintances, I probably have a lot of those. And acquaintances to me is just that, an acquaintance. Someone I'll meet on the street, someone that recognizes me and says, "Hi Margie, how are you?" And I'm looking back at that person and saying, "Who are you? I should know you. I don't remember your name." So we will just stand around and maybe have a quick conversation. How are your kids? How's your husband? Did you go to the Cheese Day Parade? What do you think of this weather we're having? Do we have a lot of laundry? Just day-to-day stuff. Nothing pertinent at all as to family or your problems or anything else, you know. They say, "How are you doing?" You say, "Fine," even though you can barely walk. Maybe I'm just doing just great, you know. Acquaintance. I don't need them to know anything about my life. I don't want to know anything about theirs either, other than to shoot the breeze for the day. So I hope this helps. I'm going to say goodbye if I can figure out how to shut this off. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.